Alright, so the first one we're going to talk about, example, is a garden. And we have, it's 40 feet long, 20 feet wide. Okay, so you guys could calculate the perimeter if you added all the sides together, okay? 20 plus 40 plus 20 plus 40. That would be the perimeter. But we're not talking about perimeter. We're talking about area, which is how much room, basically, we have inside the garden if we want to... Alright, let's go ahead and talk about lesson number 31, area of rectangles. So the area is pretty easy to calculate. You basically just multiply length times width. But I want you guys to understand the concept of what area actually is. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Now, I love gardens. I have a picture on my cell phone, and I'm still trying to figure out how to get a picture onto a video on YouTube. But this would be the easy way. So there's my garden right there. As you can see, it's pretty big. And it's relatively in the shape of a rectangle. So there's a snake I found in my garden. Anyway, so this problem is important to me because I like planting a lot of plants. So how much room inside the garden, if you're looking down at it, do you have to plant plants? So in order to find area, you're simply going to take the dimensions and multiply them. You don't need this one or this one. You simply take 40 times 20. Which in this situation, 4 times 2 is 8, and there's 2 zeros, so it's going to be 800 square feet. Okay? So you simply multiply the length times width. Okay, let's do a different problem to kind of understand area a little bit better. Okay, here's the bathroom. It's 5 feet. That little dash means feet by 8 feet. And how many tiles would you need? I actually have a tile right here. It's a little bit bigger than a foot, but imagine that this edge right here is a foot, and so this is a foot by foot. How many of these tiles would you need to fill this bathroom? Okay, so one tile is going to look like about this big. Okay, but we need, this is 5 feet, so there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of those tiles, okay, 5 of those to do one column here, okay? But it's 8 feet long, so we're going to multiply that. How many rows are we going to need? Imagine these lines are drawn completely straight. So that's 1 row, 2 row, 3 row, 4 row, so that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Okay? 5 rows, 6 rows, 7 rows, 8 rows. Okay? So how many of those tiles are we going to need? Well, this is going to simply be 5 times 8. So you're going to need 40 of those tiles. Okay? The concept of area is basically how much room do you have if we're talking about tiles. Think flooring. Flooring is the best way to understand area. How much flooring do you need to cover that area of ground? Okay, so here's example number 3. Let's see if you can do it by yourself. So say you have, let's say, 9. You have a bathroom, and it's 9 feet by 4 feet. How many of those tiles do you need? 9 feet by 4 feet. Simply take, the area is going to be equal to 9 feet by 4 feet. That's going to be 32 feet squared. Alright, let's talk about the units. So if the area is 32 feet, feet is a length. Okay? So that would be 32 feet long. But we're talking about an area. So whenever you do area, you're going to put feet squared. Okay? Those are the units of measurement that we use to describe area. Feet squared. A lot of times you'll see it written like this. 32 feet with a little 2 in the air. That little 2 in the air right there means squared. So this is feet squared. That right there is the unit of measurement that we use to describe area. If we're talking about length, the length of this would be 9 feet. No little 2 in the air. So that would be the unit of measurement that you use to describe length. Alright, we have a perfect square. The area of this perfect square, which means all sides are equal, is 121 feet squared. So we have, this is a big bathroom, we have 121 of these tiles that have taken up this bathroom. Okay? So we need to figure out what the perimeter is. Perimeter means this side plus this side plus this side plus this side. What's the perimeter? In order to find, so this is a two-step problem. Okay? You have to combine what you know about perimeter, which is distance around, with what you know about area. Okay, so what do you need to find perimeter? You need to know the length. We don't know the length. So a lot of kids stop right there and freeze. How do I do perimeter without length? Well, just as my kid's doing his piano in the background. Let me go ask him this. Okay, like I was saying, sorry about that. My kid played Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. But anyway, we want to find the length. In order to find the length, we know that if we take the length times the width, it has to equal 121. So let's think length times width equals 121. In this case, it's a square, so all sides are equal, so we know that the length and the width are the exact same number. So we know that it's basically the length times the length, and that's going to equal 121. So this number right here is the same exact thing. So what two numbers, when you multiply them together, equal 121? Now you got to know your doubles. Okay, so 2 times 2 equals 4. 3 times 3 equals 6. If we take 9 times 9, that's basically 9 squared. That's going to equal 81. Okay, so let's keep, it's not, obviously I skipped a few right there, but it's obviously not 9. So what's 10 times 10? Times 10, is that 100? Well, that's not there. Let's try 11 times 11. Is 11 times 11 121? Yes. So then we have, these two numbers have to be exactly the same. Shh, Zachy. Zachy's active today. So we know that these two numbers, 11 times 11 equal 121, and they have to be the same. And is that true? Is 11 and 11 the same? The answer is yes. So that tells us that the length of one of our sides of this bathroom is 11 feet. So if this side's 11 feet, we know this side is 11 feet because they're all the same. So we're basically 11. Let me get my eraser. Erase some of this. We know this is 11. This is 11 feet. This is 11 feet. And this is 11 feet. Okay? So 11 plus 11 plus 11 plus 11 is 44. That's basically 11 times 4. 11 4 times. That's going to be 44 feet. Okay? So our perimeter is going to be equal to 44 feet. Okay? So that's a hard problem. You're taking two different concepts and combining them. You got to know how to find. You got to understand area and how to find a side if you're given area. And then once you find a side, you have to know that all sides are equal and to add them up. Okay, so that's a difficult problem. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have to say about area for today. Hopefully everything makes sense. Keep up the good work, guys.
I'm playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Stars and I'm playing right now.
Good job, Zachy.
Can I watch it?